America. Boy, you do an awful lot. You've broken into the business as a dancer.
Yeah, as a dancer. Yeah, when I was a kid. Well, you know.
Yeah.
I did a lot of dancing in pictures, you know, in back of Mr. Astaire, back of Betty Grable, back of...
Is that right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Those things. Hoofed for
And when you were a young guy and there was Fred Astaire out there going through his routines, what were your thoughts?
Well, by that time I knew that I wanted to be an actor or a dancer, or both, you see. So he, of course, was always an idol. I mean, how can you miss with that? But my first glimmer of wanting to be a dancer was when I was really small. And I went to see a movie, a Saturday night movie, or Saturday afternoon movie that we were allowed. It was a movie with George Raft and Carol Lombard. And they did a bolero. And I remember I got thoroughly whipped for it, staying twice to see that number.
Who were you looking, George Raft or...
I was looking at George Raft, as a matter of fact.
He was a heck of a good dancer,
You bet he was.
Yes.
Absolutely. I was looking at both of them, but the whole thing fascinated me.
Well, now you starred in Funny Girl with Carol Lawrence, a three-penny opera with Cheetah Rivera.
Yes. Oh, dear
She's a
Cheetah.
terrific dancer.
Oh, isn't that great?
She's a very physical dancer.
Oh, she's... well, all the dancers are physical.
But I mean, she's almost dominating, isn't she?
There's something... oh, yes, dominating. That's it. Cheetah and Gwen Verdon are mine.
Yes,
Those are my idols.
Love them in Chicago.
Dancers. Yeah, weren't they wonderful?
And he gets you gone with Debbie Reynolds, who's pretty good.
No, I didn't. I wasn't in that.
Oh, you directed that?
No, I assisted Gower Champion.
That's right,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
Yes, indeed.
West Coast.
Well, do you still dance?
No, I don't. No, I gave...
You gave that
I hung these up. I brought you here. I'm going to have you put them on, perhaps.
Let's see.
These are what you call ballet shoes, and I hung those up, I don't know, about 10 years ago, I think.
These are the old Jim Mitchell ballet shoes?
Yes, those are the last pair. These are the wedge shoes. These are
last pair or the last shoe?
No, that's the last pair. No, there's another one over here.
Okay.
You wear two, you see.
Let me put them on and see
right.
what they feel like.
Well, they're going to be very large for you, I'm afraid.
You know, there are an awful lot of injuries that dancers must live with.
Yes. Well, of course there are. Yeah, that's a little large.
A little large, but I'll wear it anyway.
Okay.
You know, the public doesn't realize. They think these people are in such marvelous shape, and they are, but still their muscles get torn and their ligaments.
You see, any form of exercise or a sport, you know, football, that if it's played long enough, hard enough, you're bound to sustain rather serious injuries, as Brooke Shields pointed out.
Yes.
She injured her hamstring by whatever she
Even
did.
at her age.
Even at her age.
So these dancers who go into their 30s are all vulnerable then to the injuries.
Yes. Nowadays, 30s, 35, 40 is usually the stopping point for most dancers, particularly males, because they do so much jumping and lifting.
They make it look so easy, but it's awfully hard out there.
It takes a lot of training. Starts very young, 12, something like that.
You want to do a little with me here?
Well, I'll
give you a few
you
ballet tips.
I'll
That's
give
the
you
one thing we haven't done yet.
All ballet classes, I would say universally, begin with a plie, which is nothing more. Well, it's a bit more, but it is a knee bend.
Knee bend.
And I will show you what that goes like.
I'm going to take this jacket off for the last time today. Every segment.
And usually it is always done, not always, but usually it's done holding on to a bar, something. So let's say we have a bar. Let's use ourselves as a bar.
Fine. Go ahead.
So what you do is stand in what we call a first position. There are 5, okay? And this happens to be the first one.
Okay.
And you keep the body erect, right? The head straight forward, and you bend the knee. Not so fast, just slowly bend it. Now, keep going down until, now you let the heels off, now all the way down, all the way down.
What is this, a contest, Jim?
Come on, all the way down.
If it is, you win.
Keep the torso up.
Holy cow,
now,
this is tough on the legs.
Put easy, now the heels down.
The old martinet.
There we go.
All right.
And releve, up on the toes, half toe. That's it, and hold, balance, hold it. Hold it.
I'm holding.
That's terrific. That's wonderful.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's for that. That's a plie.
All right.
Yeah. Want to do a second?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do all 5.
Okay.
Tight knees to begin with.
All right.
Now, you don't take the heels off the floor on this one. Straight down. There we go. And up. Good. Now we do
that
the third.
one cold.
Third is right in here. Now, we won't go all the way down on this one. Third.
You're telling me we won't.
There, okay. Now, put the foot out here. This is a fourth. This is a little harder.
Okay.
I'm going to hold on to you. Now you go all the way down this
Who am I
side.
gonna
Heels
hold on
off.
to?
I'll keep you up. All the way. Okay. Keep the torso up. Come on, keep it up. That's good. That's good. That's good. You're really very good. You really are. Now, bring it back this way. And all the way down.
How far down, Jim?
All the way.
Jim!
Here you go. Jim! Here you go. Come on, come on. Up you go. Up you go. There you go. You know where these came from?
Where?
From fencing.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
We've done that on the show.
Yeah.
Sure, I could just feel them.
A lot of ballet was originated in the French court, and the royalty did it, and they were used to fencing. These were the
and
positions.
Those are the same movements.
Well,
exactly.
more or less. Yeah.
Can we go out one more time with this?
Which one do you want to do?
Let's do the first. The first one?
All right,
fine.
Okay.
All right.
I think you can do this without a prop.
All right, good. Jim, I want to thank you very much for being here
This is a 3
today.
count.
Continued good luck on all my children.
Here we go.
And stay in shape, okay?
And 1.
Coming up next,
2,
Dr. Kenneth Ring with near-death
3,
experiences, and we'll see you in
and
just a moment.
Get your heels down.
Heels down.
There we go.
There we go.
Hi, I'm Mo Siegel, president and founder of Celestial Seasonings Herb Teas. Celestial herb teas are so delicious. There's no caffeine, they don't give you the jitters, no artificial anything. They're about the healthiest, best tasting drink you can have in the summertime. Red Zinger, Lemon Ice Delight, such delicious iced herb teas. To welcome you to the refreshing world of Celestial Seasonings Iced Herb Teas, we're making this special offer. We'll send you our 2 newest tea canisters featuring the art from our Almond Sunset and Peppermint Tea packages, plus 6 packets of Red Zinger and our new Cranberry Cove Tea, citrus-filled flavors that are delicious, plus 4 25-cent coupons towards your next Celestial purchase, all for only $9.95. To order, call us at this toll-free number. Next time when you're really thirsty, have a delicious glass of Celestial Seasonings Iced Herb Teas. Celestial Seasonings, soothing teas for a nervous world.
1, 2.
Hey, body of steel.
And a mind to match.
Since when?
Well, try me.
Okay. What's the name of your favorite cereal?
Well, there's fruit. It's fruit and...
Post Fruit and Fiber tastes so good you forget the fiber. Crispy high-fiber flakes mixed with dates, raisins, and walnuts. So all you remember is...
fruit. And it's delicious.
Guess I'll settle for the body of steel.
Post Fruit and Fiber cereal tastes so good you forget the fiber. Some things never change. That can be good, or that can be bad. For Listerine Antiseptic, it's good, very good, because your tried and true Listerine still kills the germs that cause bad breath. But it also kills the germs that cause plaque. Clinical tests prove rinsing with Listerine in addition to regular brushing reduces plaque by up to 50% over brushing alone for better oral hygiene. So use Listerine twice a day. See, old friends don't change, they just get better.
Did you ever have a near-death experience where your whole life kind of flashed before your eyes? We're going to talk about that now with Dr. Kenneth Ring, who is a professor of psychology at the University of Connecticut, serves as president of the International Association for Near-Death Studies, and is the author of books like Life After Death and also Heading for Omega, which kind of details the near-death experience.
Right.
What exactly is that? Is it sort of like something flashing by?
That's a
in
part
your
of
mind?
it, Regis, but it's more than that. The typical near-death experience usually begins with a feeling of great peace and well-being. Then the person will say that I no longer feel like I'm in my body, but I'm outside my body. I'm just watching like a spectator. They can see their physical body as though from above. They often pass through a darkness. It's like a tunnel. It isn't really a tunnel. They're moving through it very rapidly, but without any sense of a body. And then they move toward, and this is, I think, the culminating feature, maybe the most important of the near-death experience, toward a light. It's not like any of these TV lights. It's a beautiful, radiant, golden, white, pulsating light filled with warmth, filled with love, filled with acceptance. They merge with that light. They become one with it. They're enveloped by that light, and they feel that they're home.
And many people have shared these experiences so that you can put it all together as a composite.
That's right. Thousands of persons have had this experience that have told us at the association about it. And actually, according to a poll by George Gallup Jr., he estimates that just in the United States alone, probably something like 8 million persons have had this kind of experience as a result of a near-death crisis.
Are they dead? For just a few seconds, maybe?
Yeah, they're clinically dead. They're not biologically dead. People who are biologically dead are notorious for never answering our questionnaires, but...
Hey, the doctor's all right, huh? And you thought we were going to die up here.
But no, they're not irreversibly dead.
Uh-huh. But clinically dead, what would be the definition of that?
Well, the usual definition is this: a temporary condition where there's a cessation of heartbeat and respiration. Person may have a cardiac arrest, may have no discernible heartbeat for a couple of minutes, say, then is resuscitated, brought back to life, and then usually immediately thereafter will be able, or as soon as that person physically recovers, to describe this kind of experience if the person who is asking about it is sympathetic and open to it. Of course, a lot of people would dismiss this experience as just an hallucination or a dream.
Exactly.
But if
How can you prove it isn't?
Can't really prove that it isn't, except that there are some very strong indications that sometimes the sorts of things that people see while, quote, out of their body, that they couldn't possibly see from the position of their physical body, are actually happening. Sometimes they can report the readings on instrumentation that are located at a distance from their physical body, for example, the readings on the machines, the particular procedures that are used as a part of the resuscitation, and so on. But people also will say, this wasn't like a dream. This wasn't even like your best fantasy. This is more real than you and I sitting here talking about it is real. It's hyper-real to the person, and it has a lasting effect on their lives afterward.
Tell me about some of the more bizarre, not bizarre, but more interesting, intriguing stories that you've heard in your interviews.
Well, you know, Regis, there are some extraordinary stories that I've heard, as you can imagine, although most of them follow this general pattern. But perhaps the most interesting thing that I've run across is that you mentioned at the outset the business about the life review. Does your life flash before your eyes? Well, it does quite often. That's one of the more reliable indicators of this experience. But one of the things that isn't as well known is that during this life review, which takes place almost all at once, almost simultaneously, you not only see scenes or incidents from your life that have already taken place, but quite often people will say that they see events that will take place or they feel could take place if they choose to go back to physical life. In other words, it's like you get flashbacks and flash forwards also, although not in time.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is quite remarkable. And there's some evidence to indicate that the things that people actually do see as events taking place in their life after they return do in fact come to pass.
Do they see deceased relatives?
Sometimes.
Mothers, fathers?
Yes. And when that happens, there's usually a kind of telepathic communication that occurs. This is a telepathic reality. It's direct transmission of meaning. No words are exchanged, but you know what somebody is saying. And the typical kind of communication, very pithy, very short, is you've got to go back, it's not your time, or you still have work to do, or you haven't fulfilled your purpose yet, something like that. Short and sweet, and the person who has this experience knows then that he is not, or she is not going to be allowed to stay in this particular domain.
I'm sure you have many critics or non-believers, shall we say. What do you say to them?
Well, you know, we're not trying to convince anybody about what this experience means. We're only trying to convince persons that there is now abundant evidence that something very extraordinary and we think important happens at the moment of or near physical death, and that people who are working in these fields, health professionals and so on, need to be knowledgeable about these experiences, because most people will say, who have had this experience, if you ask them, this is the single most important thing that ever happened to me. And so we're not trying to say this proves anything, that this proves life after death or anything like that, only that these experiences are surprisingly common, they have major after effects on the lives of people, and that people want to know about them.
And we'll be back with more in just a moment.
You know, one thing...
Hope you like sugar, because this box contains not 1, not 2, but 6 added teaspoons. This has 10, and this 18. And spoon-size shredded wheat, none. When you shred the wheat for better toasting, it tastes great naturally. So it goes against our grain to add sugar, or even salt. Nabisco shredded wheat, 0 added sugar or salt, 100% whole wheat.
Nabisco. Wash and go. You're a guy who's on the go. You wash and go, hell, that's a no. Everywhere that you go. You wash and go, hell, that's a no.
Pert, that's what you want for hair on the go. Pert adds a drop of instant action conditioning, so all you do is wash and go.
Wash and go, hair looks good on you. With style and freedom. Wash and go with Pert. Wash and go.
Do you think we're gonna have a hard time shopping for Dad?
Not a
JCPenney. We have a sale that's just for him. Save on all his favorites like famous Levi's and Parfour dress slacks for relaxing, colorful Parfour shirts and shorts. Plus a terrific new collection of Fox sportswear. All this and more at the JCPenney Father's Day sale.
JCPenney sure knows how to please the guy.
You're looking smarter than ever, JCPenney.
Back now with Dr. Kenneth Ring from the University of Connecticut talking about near-death experiences. So what do we all learn from this?
It seems to me that the main message in these experiences is that the testimony of thousands of persons who have had this experience, who have been through the gateway into death, is that there's nothing to fear in death. These people typically say, I no longer fear death. And though we can't say from these experiences that they prove a life after death, to know that the moment of death is one that's filled with comfort, a sense of well-being, sense of peace, total love, I think that's not bad. I mean, I would settle for that.
Yes.
I mean, whatever it may prove, I think
Sure.
it demonstrates at least that the moment of death itself is extremely peaceful and beautiful.
You know, when you come right down to it, death is the ultimate mystery, the ultimate fascination.
Yeah.
Whew, something else to ponder. But as you say, we're glad to hear that. Did any of these people say that they saw anything like God?
No, but what they do say, Regis, is that when they enter into the light and when they become one with the light, it's as though they know what it is when people speak of God, what that represents, that energy, that love. And everybody that I interviewed recently from my second study said that they had the highest possible belief in God afterward. Only 40% of people felt that way before the experience. So they touched something pretty profound in a near-death experience.
Every one of them said they believed in God after that?
Every single person without exception.
That's really interesting. Thanks again very much for being with us today, Dr. Kenneth Ring. And we'll see you soon, everybody, here on Health Styles. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, learn about the lives of Washington wives on America Talks Back with Stanley Siegel. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern, Bianca Jagger joins Dr. Ruth Westheimer on Good Sex. Now, meet Hollywood star Michael York on Hot Properties with Richard Belzer. Next on Lifetime.
Sex symbol Rex Smith makes a bi-coastal comparison on Regis Philbin's Lifestyles. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern on Lifetime.